What's good, y'all? My name is Dylan Green, and this is Real Notes, a space dedicated to blurring the cultural and artistic lines between rap and film. I'm here to chop it up with everyone from rappers and producers to journalists and video directors about their relationship to movies and how, if at all, film inspires their craft. My guest this week is DJ and co-host of the MTV Raps revival, Diamond Kuts. We spoke about horror movies, the Child's Play series, how Disney's reboot of Maleficent helped her appreciate the relationship between sound and image, her relationship with Nicki Minaj, memories of Nicki's early career, putting on for female rappers, being a DJ in the age of streaming and algorithms, and how she and fellow co-host Conceited are reimagining MTV Raps for a new generation. Come fuck with us. What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to Real Notes. It's summertime. My allergies are fucking with me, and or it's not summertime yet. It's still spring, but like it's allergy season. And it's terrible, but we're alive and we're maintaining and we're here, so it's all good. I'm Dylan Green, CineMasai. Got a lot of names. I do a lot of things, and we're with somebody today who's moving and shaking and doing a lot of things herself. She's a very well-renowned DJ, Philly legend, and the new co-host and DJ for the reboot of MTV Raps. Welcome fucking Diamond Kuts to the place to be. Diamond, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate you coming through.
Hey, listen, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I really, really do. That's an awesome intro, by the way, because the allergies is insane right now. It's like allergy season is killing us.
Thank you. Yeah, nah, man. It's just like I don't know why I've been noticing it more this year than any other year in my life. Maybe it's just because we're getting older, but like I just like wake up and you know, like it's kind of like COVID paranoia too, because like you wake up and like you got like a sore throat or like your nose is messed up and it's just like, oh shit, like maybe it finally hit me. Like it's just a lot of
right. Like it got me, it caught me.
Right, like it's just a lot to grapple with right now. But you know, we're here. Like I said, we're maintaining it. I'm happy to have you here to talk about movies and TV and rap and all this good shit we love.
Yeah, for sure. He's there.
Cool. So, let me ask you the first question I ask everybody who comes on here. What was the last movie or TV show you watched that you had a strong opinion about?
Oh, that's strong. I mean, I'm not being biased here. The last TV show that I did watch was Yo MTV Raps, because we premiered yesterday.
Right.
So that was actually the last show that I've watched in its entirety. So I watched. I can't say I watched it in full. I forgot the name of it, but I've been into like these a lot of like African shows and movies. But I can't remember the name of it. But the show prior to MTV Raps, I was on Netflix and I was watching this other show called Savage Beauty, I think it is. Like this cool, like it's just a kind of like a drama. Yeah, on Netflix. That was the show before.
What because like I feel like I've heard of Savage Beauty before, but I haven't like sat down and like tapped in and watched it. What's it about exactly?
It was a drama, like I said. It's an African show, so a lot of I don't know if it took place in Nigeria, or I think, but it was pretty much about this girl was getting revenge on this beauty company that pretty much tried to kill her when she was a kid, kill her and her brothers when she was a kid. Like they were like using them to experiment on beauty products. And she spent her like adult life trying to get back at them and like ruin their whole empire. So that's what the show was pretty much about. And then that show, but
yeah, wow, that's crazy. I I haven't been watching too much African television or film lately, but I am really into everything that's been coming out of Nigeria. Like just like Nollywood film is something that I've always been really into and like super fascinated by. And I just wish I'd been able to keep up with it more. But I just like
Yeah,
there's too much going on over here for me to even like begin to crack that in a way that I feel like I need to, like in the way that it like
yeah,
deserves, you know?
yeah. And it's called Nollywood. I didn't know that. That's cool. I'm
Yeah,
like just
nah.
starting to get into it, but that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that yeah,
awesome.
it really is. They got a whole like ecosystem of like yeah, they just have like a whole ecosystem of like directors and like production companies. It's it's like obviously not as big as Hollywood over here, but like
Yeah.
it's like a whole phenomenon. Like shout out to Nigerian cinema. Y'all got it going on down there. And it's on me to catch up, but like y'all got it going on for real.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely check it out. You know, once you watch something on Netflix, they begin to like send you every single thing that's like it. So it's like, oh wow, like this is a whole another thing. And the shows are awesome, and I love how they like intertwine their their language with American, and it was like they go talk back and forth. It's awesome. I love it. I love it.
That's tight. I'm excited to go do the dig on Netflix myself because yeah, like that's one good thing about the algorithm. It'll just keep on like you're just like never at a loss for shit to watch. So that's cool, you know.
No, yeah.
Um. So for you, like growing up, like what's the first movie experience you can remember having? Like it could be at the theater, it could be at your cousin's house, it could be wherever. Like the first time you remember watching and experiencing a movie.
Um, First time. Uh, I love horror films. Like I love horror films. And I remember when my dad first let me watch Chucky. I don't remember which one it was. I can't remember, but it was Chucky, and I was just like, oh. And like ever since then, I've always just had a lot of love for like horror films. I love horror films, so I, I'm a Disney fanatic. Like I love Maleficent. That's one of my favorite Disney movies with Angelina Jolie.
Oh, see,
And then Disney
sorry,
movies is like my favorite.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Nah, you did. No, that's cool. That's cool. I was done saying what I had to say. It's all good.
What so I wanna touch on since we're on Maleficent. So you like the new Maleficent because I also love the new Maleficent. I'm a pretty big Disney head myself sometimes.
Yes, no, I love Maleficent. Like I I mean, I know if I'm watching it, I recite the words while I'm watching the movie. That's how much I've watched it. I heard they're coming out with another, even true or not. But I like Angelina Jolie. Like she kills this part. So I started like digging into more of her movies. Of course, like the Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Um, I just went. This is during COVID, mind you.
Right.
So I seen Maleficent when it came out. I went to the movies this year, but because Sleeping Beauty is my favorite Disney movie.
Mm.
So when we was in quarantine, I was just home, and I was like, well, let me see what movies Angelina Jolie got, and I was just went down the rabbit hole. I'm just watching all. I mean, from the really good ones to the ones that's like, eh. but yeah. So I guess I like, I mean, I became a fan of hers, and I started reading reading up on everything she does with like United Nations and all of that. So I became like a fan of hers just off of all of the work that she does and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I love what she did with Maleficent. She did an amazing job.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think anybody else could have brought the character of Maleficent to the big screen the way she did, and the way she did it, just just like you said, you're a fan of horror, and like the first thing this reminded on the new joint reminded me of was you ever see I Spit on Your Grave before?
No, I never seen it. Is that what is it? What is that, a horror movie too?
Yeah, it's like
Or is that funny? Okay.
it's a horror movie about uh not to get too crazy or anything, but it's about a woman who gets raped and comes back from the dead and takes out all her attackers. Yeah, it's a pretty wild movie. And like the new Maleficent, because like, you know, like in the beginning she gets her wings clipped off by a bro with the iron chains, and she kind of plays the scene like the woman in I Spit on Your Grave did, and I'm just like, this is wow. Like this is a way
crazy
to do this story type. Like just real.
Yeah, it was different. Like, and I guess it makes sense for me to like it too, because it that the magical, vibe to it, and it's really dark at the same time. So it was like, it was a perfect balance for me. That's probably why I love that movie. Why I love the movie so much. But yeah, I love it. I love the first one and the second one. I love both of them.
I still haven't seen the second one yet. I've been meaning to tap in. I might watch it tonight, honestly. But nah, she like those movies are cool. Like
Yeah.
like I'm just kind of like amazed
It's
that
not,
they like. Sorry, you were saying?
oh no. Oh, it must be some sort of delay. No. I was saying the first one is the best. The second one is good, but the first one is like the best one, of course.
All right.
But yeah, that's
definitely
what I was going to say.
So before we move on, talk to me about Chucky, and like what was it about Chucky that really like endeared you to like him and just like horror in general when you were a kid? Like what was so attractive about the killer doll?
He was evil, he was like evil, and he was also a toy. And I think that's that balance, like, because I love, I love fun movies, and like, oh, this is magical. And in a way, Chucky is kind of like evil. Like, he's evil, but he's still magical at the same time. He like came alive and all, and he was a possessed doll. Like, you know what I mean? And I think it was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I wish I remember the first one I watched. I can't remember it, but I mean, I watched all of them now, but I'm trying to remember which one it was that my dad had shown me. And I think that's what I liked about Chucky, was that he was it still had like that magical, connection to it, even though he was evil.
Did you have you seen either of the new on the newer versions of Chucky they did? Because I'm like not huge on them. It's like kind of weird how they like changed the way Chucky works. Like because like he's like a Siri based, he has like a Siri based operating system now, but he's like also still possessed by a killer spirit. It's weird. Like did you see
Yeah,
the
are
new
you
ones?
talking about like the TV? Are you talking about like the TV shows? Like it was on it was like a TV series or something. I mean, it was streaming, but it was like a series.
Right.
And if that's what you're talking about, I wasn't a huge fan of that, because it kind of got really weird. And but I also liked, was it Buddy? The other one, I think it was called Buddy or something like that. It was kind of like Chucky. I thought that one was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, nah, I like the older ones. I don't really care for the new ones. And when I say the new ones, I'm talking about the ones where it doesn't even look like Chucky. It looks like somebody else. Like they kind of transformed them. Yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of those, but I respect it though, keeping it alive. So I'm not mad at it.
Right. Yeah, I was talking about because they made a new movie on top of the show. I think I saw like an episode of the show, but like the movie was also kind of weird and I wasn't really feeling it too much. But no, I'm pretty much with you. Like I love the originals, and I don't really need any others, to be honest. Like if they want to try it and it's good, then cool.
Right.
But like the show and the movie or whatever, it's whatever.
Yeah,
um
I'm with you too on that one.
so like as you get older and you start taking in more stuff like from the horror side and the Disney side and whatever else, just like growing in general, like was there a movie that kind of made you fall in love with movies in, it doesn't even need to be in like an artful sense, like it can be if you want, but just like something that made you stop and recognize like movies and film as like something more than just entertainment, just like something that you like really connected with on like either a technical or an emotional level?
Yeah, again, it was Maleficent. It was
Hmm.
Maleficent.
Okay.
And I think it was that because it was during quarantine, and and like I said, I love the movie so much that I would listen to it and not watch it. And when I listened to it, I was like, oh my God, like listen to they got reverb on their voices. They like mixed and mastered the audio. It's just not like it's not just, them talking. They did things with their voices. And then I started watching more of like behind the scenes things, like how they do the green screens, and even not even just Maleficent. Like after that, I started having a newer, a respect for even Marvel movies. Like the
Yeah.
Spider-Mans and the Doctor Strange and the Iron Mans. I love movies like that because so much detail goes into those movies, and they do so much for like scenes that you would think are like basic scenes, but they're not. Like what they had to go through to get that one shot. And then, like I said, when I started like really paying attention to even Angelina Jolie, and I started watching how she did Mr. or Mrs. Smith, how she did some of the stunts, or Saul. I started like really getting, because I felt like we were so bored at a lot of the time during quarantine, where I was like finding myself digging deeper into, like really digging deeper into things, like deeper into the movies. Because before, I would watch a movie, and some movies I would watch over and over again, but I didn't have time to like really research and look at behind the scenes, and you know what I mean? Because I'm on the music side, so I care about
Right.
music more than I care about movies. So, like I said, when we during quarantine, like I started like really digging deep into things, and sometimes I would like lay back and I would listen to the movie and not watch it, like put my headphones on and listen to how they like mix the audio and make things sound so cool. I'm like, what was the reverb on her voice? These are things that I know because I'm into music, so I'm
Right.
like, wow, that's when I've developed like a super huge appreciation for movies.
Right. That's crazy. Like just like that's just like those little moments that just like you're watching a movie and you just kind of notice something that you've always loved and appreciated about a thing that you already fucked with before, and just like
Yeah,
how that amplifies and just like makes the experience that much more better, or at least just like it just like opens up a new layer that you might not have thought about in that context. Like that's what,
yeah,
like like that's what makes watching something like watching the new Doctor Strange, like I really um a lot of people on the internet and in real life too, like people like to make fun of how much Marvel uses green screen stuff, which can be kind of
mhm,
excessive sometimes, but like I think when it's done really well, it looks great. Like that whole scene where they're fighting the octopus in the city, like they rendered a lot of that
yeah,
city with CG, and a lot of it's like really like impressive looking until like somebody like runs past and it looks wrong. But like so much work goes into putting so much work goes into putting so much work goes into putting all that stuff together. Just like the whole scene where they're like tumbling through the different universes and like making that look as seamless as it did is not easy. So yeah,
yeah,
I'm with you. I have so much love and respect for all those animators and those effects people who just like bring that stuff to life, you know? And
Yeah,
especially on the
it's like
audio side too. Yeah.
it's like they take it to the next level, and um it's like, oh, it's not just basically, you're not just doing some, just reading your script. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's action, you're jumping around. Oh my goodness, look at this octopus! Like, or when they go through the universes and how things just start intertwining, and you're like, oh, this is just so awesome. I mean, however they get it done, I don't see how anybody can hate on it. Like, if you're going to see, especially Doctor Strange, because I feel like they use a lot of green screen on Doctor Strange, because he
Yeah.
just requires so much more. You know what I mean? So if you're going to see it, I mean, how could you be upset? You know what you're coming to sit there for. Like, you're coming for the effects and whatever. One thing I was looking forward to with the new Doctor Strange movie, though, is that they were saying it was going to be more horror driven, but I wasn't scared. I was just like, I guess it was dark for kids, maybe not dark enough for me, but
Yeah.
it was a really good movie.
Yeah, I feel it. It was just like the guy who made it is the guy who made the Evil Dead movies, and his whole shtick is that
Mm-hmm.
he likes that kind of like funhouse, like schlocky kind of horror, and like those elements are there. It's like not really, like it's not like a horror movie in the sense that like Hereditary is a horror movie, like it's just very like, oh, look at this like gross ghost looking thing, like, and I like,
Yeah,
and I think that fits the Doctor Strange aesthetic and the Marvel aesthetic really well. I had so much fun. Like,
yeah,
I'm big on like that like fun and scary type of thing, because like it wasn't like you said, it wasn't scary, quote unquote, but it was like I had a great time. Like I got from that
yeah,
the same type of thing I would get from like going into like a haunted house at like a carnival or a state fair or some shit, Like that's what I wanted and
exactly.
that's what I got. So I'm cool.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that exactly, 100%.
So now with music, let's jump over to the other side. So like for you, when did music first become a part of your life? And who were some of your influences coming up? Like when did you like when did you yeah, I already asked the question. I don't know why I'm still talking.
No, you good. Music became a part of my life. Music was my life, or is my life, rather. My dad, I always speak on my dad because my dad got me into DJing. My dad was a rapper, like a local rapper in Philly, but he
Yeah.
worked with so many great people like Jazzy Jeff and Cosmic Kev, and so he worked with so many great people, and I grew up like hearing about DJs all the time, and I said I want to try to DJ, and he brought me like my first set of turntables, and I mean, I just found myself like obsessing over it and like um wanting to learn more and do more. So as what I did, and I just kept working. You know what I mean? Much like what I do now, I just continue to keep working, and things just keep happening. The more consistent I am, and I've been. It kind of turned into where I'm at now. But yeah, it started with my dad for sure.
That's beautiful, like parents, shout out to all parents who are either like in music or like into music and like really give their kids that spark. Cause yeah, my dad did the same for me. He used to sing. So
Yeah.
like music kind of always been a part of my life in that same way. And like the interesting thing about that is that like once you start to kind of grasp onto the stuff that like really grabs you and isn't just like stuff that like your family put you on to, like that's like it, like you can sense like that attachment just like grow. So for you, like who were some of the earliest artists that, like of like your time that you really started to, or really of our time, because I don't think we're that far
Yeah.
apart in age. So like who were some of the first artists you started gravitating toward once you started like crafting your own identity through music?
Matter. When I started DJing, I started to I started to gravitate more towards female rappers, right?
Beautiful.
So I want to say like the first female rapper that I was like, oh my god. this girl is awesome was definitely Nicki Minaj. Nicki was
Mm-hmm.
definitely the one where this is, while I'm DJing, and I used to, when I was doing radio at the time too, still am, and I was like the biggest advocate for Nicki. Anytime I could, I was playing her music. Any opportunity that I had, because I was also working at another network for another show. And I would be like, you gotta get Nicki on her. You gotta get Nicki on the show. You gotta get, like, I was always like really big on her. And they were like, well, who is she? I'm like, you don't know who. I'm sorry. And I'm like,
No,
you don't know who Nicki. I'm like, you don't know. I have 3 dogs. I'm saying gonna be loud, but I was like, you don't know who Nicki is, and they're like, no, she was like on a come up. So, um, when I kept, shouting her out and playing her music, I was the first DJ to play her music on radio. And we used to always talk about that. And then I had got a chance to work with her just naturally because I was the first person to kind of like really jump on board with her as a DJ. And so yeah, so we worked together, but that was like the first artist where once I was like doing my thing was the first artist that I was kind of like, oh, this is it. This is lit. This is where I want to be. You know what I mean? This is like,
yeah.
this is what I like. I love female rappers. Like the energy they bring, they remind me of like female DJs. Like we all are in the same field, and we all have to like kind of work hard and knock down certain barriers, and we do it. So I love female rappers.
Right. No, absolutely. I love women in the game too. It's just like, like as black people, like shit is already stacked against us, like without shit is already stacked against us no matter what. And then just like women have it even harder. On
Mm-hmm.
it's just there's just like not even just on like the resilience tip, but just like women have just contributed some of the most incredible music to like Nicki included. Like like Nicki's early stuff is just like really, really incredible. Do you remember the first song you heard from Nicki that really made you go like, oh, like she's up, like I need to be on this
Mm-hmm.
shit right now?
It was actually a freestyle she did with it was a single ladies freestyle.
I
She
remember
just
that
jumped
shit.
on.
Crazy.
Yep, she just jumped on a Beyonce song, and Beyonce's record, Single Ladies, and I was like, oh snap. And then what was the next one? Itty Bitty, when she did the Itty Bitty freestyle over the Soldier Boy beat.
Yeah.
Dunk, that was another one, but I feel like the first time where I was kind of like, and then she did it was so many records. I Get Crazy. It was a record, I Get Crazy, that she did. And I was just spinning all of them. Like at that time, if you was listening to me on the radio, I was doing like 20, 30 minute Nicki Minaj set because I just loved her vibe. 100, like it was just everything to me.
Yeah, she was, yeah, like that, like her rise, like in like the late 2000s and like early 2010s was really something to behold. Like she just had
Yeah.
like just like the vice grip that she had on like the tri-state between New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, and obviously, like in Philly and Pennsylvania.
Really.
Like
Mm-hmm.
she was just like I remember seeing her just go up and thinking like, oh, like she's gonna be a star. And like this is before, like Pink Friday and like all that other shit.
Mm-hmm.
Just like even before even before Beam Me Up Scotty, like just like
Yeah,
the
yep.
just like she just had that raw charisma that like people always want, especially from like somebody from New York, like she just kind of brought that in such a different way at that time. And
Yeah.
it's just crazy to look back on it and see, like what she
How
did and
far
how
she
she did
come.
it for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now
Definitely.
she definitely broke down a lot of barriers. She's like a boss. Like the best.
Yeah, for sure. But let's jump back to you for a little bit, because like when did you first start DJing professionally, and like when did you first decide you wanted to be a part of music in a way that was more than just like a hobby or like a thing that was passed down to you from your family?
Yeah, when I started DJing, when I realized, because I didn't realize that there weren't a lot of female DJs at the time.
Yeah,
I mean, I've heard of a few because I did like Jazzy Joyce, Coco Chanel, Beverly Bond. I looked up to them, but there
yeah,
still wasn't a lot of female DJs out, and they were before my time. You know what I mean? But they were somebody that women that that I knew about. So when I got into it, I'm like, what? Like, where everybody at? You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I was like, you know what? And people started really like, being like, oh, snap, she's a female DJ, she's a female DJ. And I was like, oh, I don't want to just be known as a female DJ. I just want to be the best. But I don't know, that genre is not included. I just want to be the best. I mean, gender not included. I just wanted to be the best. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I kind of was like, okay, I don't want to be good for a girl. I just want to be good. You know? So I feel like I've I've built myself up, and I owned in on my craft, and I did it so much to the point where you can put me next to any guy. You know what I mean? And um and I'm not going to just stand out because I'm a girl. I'm gonna stand out because I'm good. You know what I mean? And when I realized that in me, um, that was kind of me just identifying with who I am, you know, and it was up from there. Like it is what it is. So I just kept going, knowing that I just wanted to be the best and not just the best girl, you know.
Right. And like you've really like you've done that for yourself. You've you've left so many different marks over the course of these last couple of years, like between getting shouted out by Obama and you're about to play the Roots picnic this coming weekend. Like, like people are putting, like you got a name out here and like you earned it by
Yeah.
just being crazy, and
Thank
that's
you.
and like that's the way it should be, like you said, like
Right.
it comes from your talent. And I just think I just think that's tight. That's just
Thank
fantastic.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt. So before you started, or what's it called, before you were approached to co-host Yo MTV Raps, had you ever seen the show before?
Um, of course I have. I didn't watch it like while it was airing,
Right.
but I did go back and watch a lot of the shows. But even before I was approached by it, right? Being a DJ and me being so big on knowing your history, I was always big on knowing everything that I could possibly know about hip hop. So if you are in hip hop, you know about your own TV Raps. It's not it's not like something where it's like, what is this? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I know what your MTV Raps is. You know what I mean? Um, so because it's so important and it's so iconic in hip hop to this day. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I already knew about it. So when I was approached, I was excited. I'm like, oh, this is big. Like, you guys are bringing your own TV Raps back, and they were like, we you are who we want to go with, but we are looking at other people, but you are our first pick. And I was like, okay, let's get it done. So when I did a test with Conceited, we kind of met with each other over Zoom. And once I did that, it was like we just automatically clicked. It was like me talking to somebody that I've known forever. Um, so that was cool. You know what I mean? Being able to kind of sit and just click with them, and then becoming a part of the show.
Right. And so like yeah, like talk to me about the chemistry that you and Conceited have kind of built together, because yeah, you already said that like y'all weren't close and didn't really know each other beforehand. So like what was it about initially meeting him and just kind of like talking to him? Like what was like why do you think you two work together so well as a duo?
Um, I mean, I think we work well together because we're kind of the same person. Like meaning we're both serious about what we do, and we and we're professional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also we are people. We're we're a people person. You know what I mean? We're just you know it's what we do, it's our life, you know what I mean, just connecting with different people. And when you have two just like down to earth people kind of come together, you're automatically going to connect, you're going to click, because there's no egos involved, there's no, oh, I've done this, I've done that. It's just kind of like, yo, let's come together, we vibe, and we having a good conversation, you know what I mean. And nobody felt like they were bigger than the other person. It was just a cool chemistry when we first started talking. It was just like I was talking to one of my friends, and Conceited is super cool. I couldn't have thought of a better person to work with for this show.
Damn, that's so incredible. Because like sometimes you watch shows with multiple hosts, and like you could tell that they just got put together because they were like two names that people knew, and they like didn't have any
Yeah,
sort of chemistry or any shit. But like nah, like y'all,
yeah.
like I could tell that y'all really have, like, like it's not forced, like it's like y'all both care, and you're here because you care, and that kind of translates to the way you talk to each other. And so like walk me through what it was like putting this first episode together with Freddie Gibbs, because like I mean, like what a way to kick off the show. Like he's somebody I always would have imagined seeing on the original Yo MTV Raps. So like talk to me about like making that first episode and what that was like, and like the general direction that you and Conceited are planning on taking MTV Raps in the future.
Working on doing the first show, that was cool. You were saying like what was the process like during
Yeah.
that show?
Hmm.
The process was super chill. Like I said, much like anything else. We were like, everybody was chill. The environment at yo at the studio is just amazing. There isn't, like I said again, there's like no egos involved, and everybody's coming together to work collectively to bring something iconic back for a newer generation. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
um when we were with Freddie, who's a character in itself, and he was just so super cool too. We just had a great time. So putting that show together and doing that show was a breeze. It was easy. It was fun, much like all of the other shows. And we taped everything in like a week and a half. So we taped like the whole season in a week and a half, and it didn't even feel. The days were long, but it didn't feel like we were like dreading and dragging our feet to go in, because it was just such a cool, friendly, family oriented uh vibe about just being there and just being a part of something amazing. So putting that show together was like, it's like a walk in the park. It was super cool, super easy, super fun. And yeah, and Freddie Gibbs is hilarious and entertaining. And if you guys haven't watched it, I know you watched it, but if for those that didn't, definitely got to check that episode out. It was a good one.
Yeah, please do. Like it's just such a great start. And on top of that, like I feel like a lot of people don't understand like how shows like Yo MTV Raps like get made, because you just said that like y'all shot the whole season in a week and a half, and like like that's like marathon type shit, like it's like
Yeah.
like it's fun, but at the same time, like you're just kind of like you just have to be in that area. I don't know where y'all shot. Where did y'all shoot this, if you don't mind me
We
asking?
were. Oh yeah, no, it's cool. We were in LA,
Oh, okay.
so we shot everything in LA. Yeah.
Right. So like, just like having to put together an entire season of a show like that is like it's work, but at the same time, like when there's fun and just like when there's just like fun around and like y'all have good chemistry and just like
Mm-hmm.
like it's like it really is just very crazy to see. There have been
See it all
times,
come together.
yeah, definitely. Like, cause I didn't grow up watching MTV Raps either. I'm not that old. But what's it but what's it called? Like, but having seen the handful of episodes I did, and I come from I feel like we both come from the like the 106 in Park and TRL
Yes.
generation anyway. So like,
Red City.
that's
Yep.
yeah, Rap City, exactly. So like just like we have, like we had our own version of MTV Raps, but like you said, was just like knowing your history and just having it all come back to like, like this was like one of the first, if not the first, like 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 rapper oriented reality performance show, whatever you want to call it. So
Yep.
just to kind of have this, because like we also live in an era that's like obsessed with reboots and stuff. But this is one that when I first heard about it, it just like made the most sense in the world to just like have
Yeah.
to just like have it come back in this way, considering that rap's the most popular form of music in the world right now. And like we're kind of
Right.
on top, and we all of us in this have worked so hard to help push it to that point. um and like being chosen to do something like this, like I'm curious, like how did it feel to get that call, to even if they had other options, but just to have them be like, you're our first pick, like we want you to be the
Yeah.
face of MTV Raps. Like that's fucking crazy. Just that sentence alone is wild.
Yeah. And yeah, when they said that, I was like, wow. And I said, well, I know I'm gonna crush it. Like I know I'm gonna do my thing. And the thing about it is there was that was the best time for me. You know what I mean? I have experience in dang near everything. You know what I mean? So to be a part of it, or to be asked to be a part of it, I was like, this is the best time, because of all the other times that I've worked, I felt like I was always still trying to find myself. But now, to have the opportunity to do this and know who I am as a DJ, as a person, to have experience, to know how things work, to have the connections that I have built over the years, to have this moment right here, it was the best time for me. And like you said, it was the best time for rap, because you're right, we live in a time where there's also just a whole bunch of podcasts out, and people sit and they talk to the artists, social media, but there isn't a place where you can say, this is a rap show. You're going to get interviews like you would with a podcast, right? But you're going to get performances. You're going to get packages. You're going to get the history of hip hop as well. Because there's a brand new generation who is ignorant to, or don't even care about where hip hop originated, or any facts about hip hop. You know what I mean? So here we are. We kind of put everything into one. It gives you the same vibe of the original MTV Raps. It gives you the vibe of a Rap City, a 106 in Park, because we got music videos in there as well, and we show love to international artists. It's like everything that you could possibly. When I always say, when you watch the show, and you guys just seen the first episode, so the all of the episodes is like you're getting your full hip hop fix right then and there. You're getting videos, new videos rather. You're getting new videos, you're getting artist interviews, and you're getting performances. Freddie Gibbs' performance was amazing. Now when y'all see the other performances, it looks like a freaking award show. I'm telling you, like, because
Crazy.
the set is you can shoot in so many places on the set where it's like you're going to get a taste of everything. And we got ciphers, not just rap ciphers. We got dance ciphers as well. So it's just a lot that you guys are going to see this season, and I'm so excited for the future. It wasn't like we took MTV Raps and was like the original and said, "Oh, we're going to make it better." No, we're just representing it to a newer generation, and we're going to do it, and we're going to continue on, continue carrying the legacy on, and we're going to bring new talent, and we're going to present this to, like I said, a newer generation who, like us, weren't watching it when it came out. You get what I mean? But we know about it because we love hip hop, we love music, and if you love hip hop and you never heard of your MTV Raps, then you need to go back and do your history, like, you know what I mean, do your history lessons. So but yeah, it's this reboot is just the best time for me, and I feel like it's the best time for rap, honestly.
Yeah, like, like one aspect of that I really love is like there's like there really is an entire new generation of people who aren't just like ignorant to the history, but just like people who are like hungry for knowledge about this stuff. Like
Right.
there are people who want to know the history. There's people who want to know, you know, like like this is the first example that came to my head just now. Like when the Kendrick album came out, like Ghostface has a song on it. And one of my first thoughts
Mm,
was like, oh, like all these kids are about to go look up who Ghostface Killer is. Like there's like an
right.
entire generation of kids who have no idea who he is, no idea
Who
that
he
he's one of
is,
the
right.
greatest, that he's one of the greatest of all time. And just like to kind of have like like the thing about Yo MTV Raps is that it was, it really was like like it prided itself and does pride itself now on being like this one-stop shop to kind of just like rap culture, and
Right.
in a way that feels authentic and in a way that feels like it's being spoken to by people who get it,
Yeah.
and like that, and like there's so much like especially for younger people who need that guide through the history, or for people who just want to come on and watch cool shit happen on the screen, like just like having that vessel on like a streaming service is as important as it is to have like a really detailed and dedicated like YouTube page that goes through rap history, because that's how I feel like a lot, like YouTube and TikTok are how a lot of people consume information these days. And like
Right.
it's just nice to kind of have something that's it's nice to have something a little old fashioned to go along with that too, because like mixing all
Yeah.
these like mixing all this shit is fire to me. So yeah, I just think the shit is tight. It's just cool to have it back, and it's great to see you doing it. So just like,
Thank
yeah,
you.
congratulations on it.
I appreciate that, honestly. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be doing it.
Right, like it's just like such an honor, and it's just like how do you, it's like it's like I can only imagine it must have been crazy to wrap your head around, and
Yeah.
especially considering all that you've accomplished like over your career before this, like um so like just like as someone who was kind of birthed out of the Philly rap scene and like really established themselves as a force, behind the boards and just like in front of the camera. Like what do you feel is the most, like, as someone from Philly, what do you feel is the most
Mhm.
unique thing about the Philadelphia rap scene that like other people just like don't seem to understand, if that makes sense?
Yeah. There's a few things that I love about the rap scene in the city that I've always loved. It is just the raw honesty. You know what I mean? Meaning like Philly rappers aren't afraid to talk about their struggles. You know, yeah, we have rappers who talk about all of the flashy stuff and the girls, but then you have they're going to give you a balance of that and a balance of where they came from. A perfect example is Core. Core is an artist from Philly, and when you listen to his music, he paints a picture so vivid of where he's come from and what he's gone through. And that's just something that I feel like a lot of other rappers don't do. Not saying there aren't any rappers that do things like that, but that's just some of the rawness that I love about the rappers in the city. That they're not afraid to talk about their struggles. A lot of rappers talk about just the come up. They talk about all of the shiny shit, like you know what I mean, and not really give you a look into what they've actually been through. Meek does it as well. You listen to Meek Mill's music, and he talks about a lot of what he's been through. He's gonna give you the pain music, and he leveled up though. You know what I mean? So he's gonna show you the flashy stuff too. You know what I mean? He's gonna show you him hopping out the jets. He's gonna show all his chains and all these amazing events that he's at, and all of these billionaires and millionaires he's hanging out with. But you know where he came from. You know, it wasn't just something where it was like I was born rich. You know what I mean? You know that's not the case, and you're gonna get that raw, authentic vibe when you listen to the music. So that's something that I love about Philly, love about Philly, when it comes down to the rappers.
Right. Yeah, like that raw honesty has just like been a thing. Just like that's something that I've always associated with like my favorite people from Philly. Like Freeway is one of my favorite rappers ever, and he's someone who's also extremely raw and honest. And like I just like I'm just thinking about him now, so I hope he's staying healthy, because I know he's been going through it with his with his health for a little while. But yeah, just like just like between people like Meek and Freeway, and just like I could sit here and name names all day, but I think I agree. Like that's like raw honesty is something that I've always come to appreciate and respect about people from Philly. So yeah, shout out to y'all for that.
Yeah, no, hands down. Freeway is definitely one of those rappers too that's going to give you that that rawness too. Beanie Siegel, like we going that way. You know, Beanie Siegel, we got Major Figures, like they hands down.
Yeah, for real. And like as a DJ, part of your job is curating sounds and just like presenting what you think is the best and brightest of right now, and almost sort of like predicting the future. Like y'all have the crystal ball in a lot of ways. And like especially with an artist like Nicki, for you, like you were one of her earliest champions, and look where she turned out. Like it's like being a DJ is something that I think people kind of sort of take for granted sometimes, like when it just comes to like, oh, like I can just like go make a Spotify playlist and like just put that on and like boom, I'm a DJ type shit, but like it's but like there's so much more. Like there really is an art to curation and to just like seeing how shit makes a crowd move, and really just like taking like the time to put together a set that flows into itself. And for you, like has that job, like especially since you've been around for a minute, like has that job become more challenging for you, like in a world that's kind of overrun by algorithms and just like stuff that's like, where do you feel that like a DJ fits into a world that's kind of run by algorithms, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, no, it makes a lot of sense. It's really challenging. But it's what makes DJing and exciting, because now it's not just about skills. Now it's about, doing your thing on social media, making sure you have music on all of these playlists, and it's different, but it's fun. One thing that I've always loved about what I do, and is kind of staying with the times, and growing with it. That's with music, that's with social media, that's with everything. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's so much that goes into DJing now. There's no more just, oh, you just gotta be a hot DJ. Like, you just gotta be the best of the best. You do gotta be the best of the best. But you also have to market yourself. And everybody's social media driven, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. So it's like you have to kind of do that as well. That's another job that you have to do. You have to look good. So you gotta make sure you got the right clothes on. You have to, when you do get these opportunities and people do call you out, you have to be able to perform. You got to be the best at performing. So it's all of these new layers that are that goes into not just being a DJ, but being an artist, being an entertainer, period. Whether you're an actor, you're an actress, whether you're a lawyer, a real estate agent, like, you have to do what you do best, and then some. So just kind of figuring it out keeps my brain rolling, keeps me moving, keeps me like on my toes. Like, okay, all right, this is not what it needs to look like. So what can I do? How can I fix this? You know what I mean? And my brain works like that all the time. I'm always thinking of what's next. So that's just naturally what I do. So I mean, we fit. It's just that there's another layer that we have to keep up with. It's not just as simple as knowing how to blend two records together or scratch a record or whatever. It's more to it now. And you just gotta, just like I said, just stay with the times and you'll be good. Like, you just gotta keep up.
Right. Nah, yeah, that's it right there. You gotta keep up. It's just like,
gotta keep up.
It's just like, you're only one of my favorite quotes I think I've ever heard in my life is that, like, especially for somebody like a DJ, is like, you're only as old as your ability to process new information. And like, as long as you're able to do that, like, nothing can stop you, type shit.
Nothing can stop you. Yeah. Cause no, seriously, that's like that's one of the best things I've ever heard too, because that moment where you kind of give up and you're like, well, I don't know how to do it, so I'm just not going to do it. And that's when it's like, oh, well, somebody's about to come in and, you know what I mean, continue what you were trying to do, because you don't want to learn new ways. I remember when everybody was getting like controllers, and people, there were like a lot of the older DJs were stuck on Technique turntables. They did not want to use controllers. They didn't want to use CDJs. They just did not want to do it. They don't want to use USBs.
Yeah, like Serato and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. They want to use the records and they want to use Techniques. That's what they are used to. That's fine, right? But then you get into a situation where it's like, all right, well, they're not making records like they used to. So how you gonna play the new song? You know what I mean? Or a song just came out and everybody loves it. They didn't press that. They didn't make a vinyl for that yet. What are you gonna do? You just gonna keep playing records from like 20, 15 years ago? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, and it's not to knock it, because there are some DJs that are like, yo, I just like playing vinyl and that's it, and that is awesome, you know. But then you have some DJs that are like, okay, I'm gonna have to go ahead and get Serato. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna have to get Serato. I'm gonna have to download these new songs I'm going to get a laptop or I'm going to get a USB drive. So it's just kind of like, where do you want to fit in it? If that's your thing, if you're like, yo, all I do is play vinyl, that's awesome. You know what I mean? Keep doing what you're doing. But somebody like myself, I gotta, and I can play on vinyl. I can play on vinyl. I use techniques. I can have Serato. I don't have to have Serato because, like I said, with me, I study. You know what I mean? I study every form of DJing. Like somebody can put me in any situation. They can give me CDJs. They can give me a controller. They can give me straight turntables and be like, Dom, you only got 100 creative records. You only got 100 records. You got to make it do it. I'm going to spin. Like I know how to do it all, but you got to continue to learn new things. You can't stay in the past. You can't be stuck. You got to keep it pushing and just know that you can do it if you had to, but you can do the new stuff too. So
yeah. For real. Yeah, like as sad as it might be for some people to hear, like people are not digging in the crates for Young M.A. records or like Shawnee Bin Laden songs or like Meek Mill or any of that shit, like it's just like you gotta like there's a whole new world of music that lives almost exclusively on the internet, like especially when it comes to like drill and stuff. Like it's just like
not digging in the crate for 5-year-old porn or
exactly
chopper and nothing like that. Like
exactly.
That's just not going to happen. Like you got to make sure you keeping up with what's going on. So listen, I get it.
For real, like it's like you said earlier, you've been talking a lot about balance. And it really is just about balance. Like there's like there's room for the old, there's room for the new. Everybody loves nostalgia, even if you've like never experienced the era you're nostalgic for. Like nostalgia is like it's healthy, but at the same time, we live in the present, and you just got to get in where you fit in and make all the stuff work. Like just figure out how to make the shit work for you. That's
right.
it.
Figure out how to
like that's it.
Yep. That's what I was saying. Like, if you are that person and you just want everything one specific way, hey, that's fine. You have it that way you want, the things that you want to do, but just still stay, abreast of, the new stuff too. Like there's other things that you need to be figuring out as well. There's other things that you need to be, keeping up with. And, it just keeps you sharp and it keeps you motivated. Like that's one thing that I love about me is that when I love something, I love it. I love DJing. I love everything about it. You know what I mean? And I love when somebody's like, "Hey, Diamond, we got your rider, but we only have this, we only have that." I'm like, all right, damn, I gotta pull my needles out. You know what I mean? Let me dust my needles off, and I'm gonna go rock. However, they'll be like, oh, we only got this controller. Okay, that's fine. No big deal. We gonna rock on that controller, or you know what I mean? Like, I know how to DJ on anything. So, and I that's one thing I pride myself in. It's just knowing. You know what I mean? Right. Just knowing everything. Yeah.
And being adaptable, like that's so crucial. Like
yeah, 100%. No, it definitely is.
Right. And to kind of like A, thank you. This conversation has been super dope. And B, to kind of wrap this whole thing up. Like if your life was a movie, what would it be about?
If my life was a movie, it would be about my upbringing, how I was raised. It would be about my parents, and my parents came up in like the best time for Philly, where it was like, from what they tell me, had fun performances at block parties, and not people have block parties now that they kind of put together. No, these is just like raw block parties, what they were saying, like rapping off of somebody's porch or something like that, or somebody's steps. And they used to have parties in like U-Haul trucks. They used to tell me some wild, crazy stuff. But that I would incorporate that because that's that's part of my upbringing too. That's what I was born from. You know what I mean? It would be about my come up as a woman in the industry. It would be about me being a mother, a very hands-on mother. You know what I mean? I pick my son up. I know y'all hear the microwave in the back. I'm making him something, you know what I mean, warming, heating something up from after school food, you know what I'm saying? So I'm a very hands-on mom as well. It would just be about my life and everything that I've been through, the touring, the TV, the production, the producing. It would be all of that. And now that I'm saying this is something that, you know what I mean, I need to start putting together. But but it would be all of that. And I think it's something that I think people would be interested in seeing because I had a good life and an interesting life, you know. So
right.
Yeah.
And it's not even over yet, you know. Like you already figured out how to balance all this other shit, and like now, like this is the whole next chapter. So yeah,
this is another chapter, and we're gonna do it bigger and better. I'm in a better position. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Already. Well, yeah, I don't got any more questions for you, but
okay.
Dee, thank you so much. This is really illuminating, and just like to get to talk to you about just like the things that you've done as a woman, as a Black woman in the industry, and just like just like congrats on all your success. And you know, hopefully they can give us a new Chucky movie that'll be worth actually trying to watch, you know, like
they gotta go back to the original. They gotta go back to the original Chucky doll, and it would be good. You know what I'm saying? The original Chucky doll, and not this new stuff and all of it. Just take it back a little bit. You know what I mean? Give us that authentic Chucky, that authentic Tiffany, and let's get it rocking. You feel me? So
yeah. Just keep it. Just keep it to magic dolls. Keep the other bullshit. Yeah.
Keep everything else, but give us that. You know what I mean? Give us a little bit of the authenticity.
Yeah, you already know. Well, yeah, Dee, thank you so much again. Like, I really appreciate your time. Yeah, this was so much fun, and I'm excited to see how the rest of the season turns out. So, yeah.
I appreciate it, and thanks for watching, and keep doing your thing too. Like, you know, I don't think I've ever done a podcast this long before, so this is my first, but it was definitely fun. I feel like I'm just, you know, we just vibing on the phone, so hit me up anytime.
Beautiful. Same here. Thank you so much. I appreciate hearing that. Thanks for listening. Shout out to y'all for making it this far. And shout out to all the Black people listening too, because y'all really impeccable. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell a friend to come through next time. 1.